I like it. If you want a new hat, you can take one from the box.
Do that now.
Okay.
You know, it'd be awesome to get.
If you want a new hat, you can.
I'll pay for it. I'll wear it.
Okay. Okay, who are we missing? Jen, will you round up our missing people, please? So we need Nina. Nina's Annie.
The Jen is saying the words.
Okay, well we made it public. Yeah. So. Okay, so first, good job today, and we will talk more about today and then what the plan is for tomorrow after this talk. Okay? I really wanted to talk about mental imagery because I feel like it's not practiced enough in bike racing. Growing up as a ski racer, that was like part of training. You learn how to use all 5 senses to practice the course in your head over and over again, because when you race the course, you have between 45 seconds and 1:20 to nail it once. You get one try. So it was just part of training was mental visualization. For example, in Sochi 2 years ago, Michaela Schifrin, she was 18 at the time, won the women's slalom, and the TV announcers were like, wow, that was so amazing. How did you do that? You've never been to an Olympics before. You're only 18. And she's like, this wasn't my first time. I've been here hundreds of times. And they're like, what do you mean? She's like, in my head. You know, maybe she had already seen the race hill, but she didn't know the course set, but she could ski the race hill, imagine what the media, the pressure looked like at the start, her nerves, what she'd feel like if she was winning after the first run or if she was in 3rd place after the first run. And she rehearsed that over and over and over again so that when she got there, she already knew what needed to be done. You know, if she's winning, if she's not winning, how she needs to think, how she needs to breathe so that she's relaxed and can ski her best. So one thing that I use for mental imagery and that really proved to me that it worked, not that I didn't know that it worked before, but when I crashed ski racing and shattered my kneecap, I went off of a jump. So here I actually don't have any idea where I got this, but I found it here so you guys can see. So pass it around, and this is ideally when you go off of a jump, you approach the jump in your tuck, and you come up and forward, and then you press, and when you're in the air, your feet are here, you're tucked in, and so you fly through the air in a nice little ball, and then you land, and everything's good. So when I crashed, I came up back and pressed, and then the wind caught my ski tips, and I went back and crashed. So then I didn't ski for a year and like 37 days. I had it memorized at once. Now I don't remember. But imagine not riding your bike for a year and 37 days. Like that was seriously sucked. So that meant I had, until I got back on snow and able to actually go over a jump again, was like a year and a half. And for a long time, I would lay in bed and try to visualize myself going over a jump properly without crashing, and I couldn't do it. So it would, a nice sports psychologist was like, you have to break it up into really small little itsy bitsy bits. So I'd lay in bed and be here, everything was good, hips come up and forward, okay, everything good, and then when I pressed, I'd start to go backward. I was like, okay, stop. I'd imagine a giant stop sign. Rewind. Here. Until it was like over and over and over again, I could actually do it in my head. And this took like months of practice. But the coolest part is when we went to Chile, to Portillo, and I was finally at a place where I could ski fast and catch air, and of course, I did it. And it was like, it was so perfect, nailed. It was amazing, and I was really good at jumping after that. So it was like, all right, this works, and it takes some effort. It's not fancy like going out and doing intervals and, or it's not fancy. It's easy to skip. So I wanted to start everyone practicing so that you can start to do this on your own, because it's really, really beneficial. And then the cool thing is Julie is going to piggyback on it on tomorrow's talk. So visualization is much more than just visualizing what your eyes see. It's using all 5 senses. So yes, what your eyes see. What are you hearing? So say, for example, we're at the start of a crit, the Louisville crit. If you don't know what the Louisville crit is, then pretend it's a name a crit that Annie would know.
Gateway?
Gateway. So you're at the start and you're imagining what you see. There's a good chance you see a whole bunch of other girls in spandex, and maybe it's UHC or it's IS Corp or it's Tibco or whatever, and you start to feel yourself tighten up and get nervous. So now you have incorporated your vision and your sense of feel, but also you have your hands on your handlebars, your foot is clipped in, one foot on the ground. What does that feel like? What's your belly feel like? What are you hearing? Are you hearing some people talking? Are you hearing breathing? Sight, smell. Does it smell like anything? That's funny, but sometimes you can, like, if it's windy, you can feel the breeze on your nose and kind of smell it. Sight, smell, touch, hearing, taste. Maybe if you had too hard of a warm-up, you taste some blood in your mouth. Taste, I don't use taste very often. Okay, it's good to know. Okay, so any questions? When you mentally visualize, you use all 5 senses. And you have to be really honest with yourself. So I used to get a little bit crazy at big events, and I couldn't imagine myself at the big event because I didn't even want to deal with that. Like, I'm gonna be crazy, I'm gonna be nervous, I don't even want to deal with it. Well, if I can actually step up and say, okay, I'm at this race and I'm really, really nervous and I'm like freaking out and I don't want to start too hard and I don't want to do this. Well, calm it down. Inside your mind, you can take as long as you want to deal with, okay, my nerves, I'm going to just relax and remember the course over and over again and how I'm going to ride it. And you can really start to relax yourself. And then when you're at the race, you're like, okay, I've already relaxed myself. I know how to do this. And then maybe it takes 2 minutes as opposed to 20 minutes when you first start. Okay, so in a nice, relaxed, everyone get nice and relaxed in a place where they can just kind of close your eyes. So, nice, Jen, you have like the perfect spot. Jen's gonna be going to sleep. So, important when you start is to be very much relaxed and clearing the mind, which is hard to clear the mind, but the easiest way to do it, I found, is let's start at the toes. And as you're at your toes, are they relaxed? And then relax your feet and your ankles and your calves. And then slowly move up the body to your quads and your hips. How's your belly? How's your breathing? Are you taking nice deep breaths with your belly? You can close your eyes if you want to. And then your shoulders, nice and relaxed down through your elbows and your hands. What about your face, your cheeks, your teeth, your jaw? Everything nice and relaxed. From this point, you can really start to get a nice sense of yourself and how you feel when you're relaxed, and you can take nice deep breaths. And then from here, imagine a tree. It has nice bushy leaves and then like the most perfect brown tree trunk, and you're laying in the grass underneath it. And you feel the grass on your skin, There's a breeze that you can feel. It's blowing some pieces of hair, and the leaves on the tree are rustling, and you can hear those leaves. You're taking nice deep breaths, looking up at the tree and the sky and the clouds. In the background, you hear a squirrel making a squirrel noise. It smells like nice, clean, crisp air. Now take this feeling and imagine you're at the start of Gateway Cup or Louisville Crit. And you want to be nice and relaxed in a place where you can be very, very focused. What do your hoods and your bar tape feel like in your hands? When you look around at the other racers, do they intimidate you? Do they make you excited to race your bike? Or do you not even care who they are? How does that make you feel? You take nice deep breaths. What does the ground feel like underneath the foot that's not clipped in? Then as they count the 30 seconds, what happens? You have 30 seconds to go. Do you feel any butterflies in your belly? Do you feel anxiousness from the other riders? Where does your mindset go? Do you hear what the announcer is saying? You look up the road and you see the first turn. And then when they say go, as you stand up and you pedal, do you clip in right away? Are you powerful out of the start? Or do you kind of sway back and forth and you're not sure? Do you let the other riders intimidate you and push you around? Or do you clip in and you're powerful right away? And then you imagine yourself going through the first turn. When you go through, where's your vision? Where are you looking? What do you feel? Where are your hands and body position? Hoods, drops, outside foot down, inside of the corner, outside of the corner. How's your body feeling? Okay, everybody can stop. So you can see how far you can take this. So what I used to do for bike racing specifically is, because memorization in ski racing was so natural, I memorized everything. I memorized every single course. So if there was a time trial, I memorized the start. I memorized exactly the course. How far to the first turn, or how far is this descent? How long is this climb? Where can I go hard? Where can I recover? The longer it was harder, and it took much more focus on the pre-ride, but I would memorize every single inch. And then I could practice that in here. And for me, laying in bed, sometimes laying in bed, if you think about a race that does not relax you. But for me, to race well, I needed to be relaxed and confident. And so doing it before bed was perfect. So time trial specifically, I'd have the course memorized, turn by turn, exactly the mileage where the turns were, exactly the effort that I wanted to put out on the course. And I would do all of this in the pre-ride. That's when you, and then yes, if you've raced it before, then you know the mistakes you made or what you did well, and you can do that next time. But then just being able to practice. Continuing on with my going crazy at big events, my last year racing Tour of California, on UHC, there was like so many people that wanted to be around the team bus and staff and VIPs and this and that. And I had to borrow a disc wheel because our disc wheel sucked, and then my rear derailleur was hitting the disc when it was in the easiest gear, and I was freaking the fuck out. And I was crying, and I was telling the director, I am a head case at big events. Look at me, I'm crying. And he knew that like just focusing on the course and how to ride it, because that's what I'm good at, would relax me. Tell me about the course, tell me about the course, like on and on while my bikes got fixed. And the Swannies told the VIPs to like get out of the way, and they made it so I wouldn't be nearly as crazy. And just going over that course, because that's what calms me down, was amazing. And then I had a really great ride and won the race. And 40 minutes before, I was crying and freaking the F out. And then there's you can do the same while you're training. So if you know you have intervals coming up, I really find that you need to be aware of what your body is doing while you're riding before you can actually visualize it. Like if you're riding with your headphones in, or you're always chit-chatting, you're not actually paying attention to what your body is doing and what you're feeling. So the more you can pay attention when you're riding, what you're feeling, and that goes along with the awareness that we just briefly touched on at the top of in-car, but how do my legs feel? How's my breathing? Where am I holding tension? If you can do that in real life, then you can take that to the visualization. Be like, okay, I know I ride, I'm always riding a little bit squinched. I'm gonna practice riding with my shoulders down and breathing deeply. And just all of these things that you do on your bike, you can practice. You can practice being in the pain cave. Okay, I know my legs are gonna hurt. I know my stomach is gonna hurt, and I am stronger. I am stronger than the pain. I can do this. I am awesome. And then you visualize yourself. Okay, in the time trial, the last 5 minutes is gonna hurt so badly. You feel the pain in your legs and everything starts to tighten up, and the desire to want to throw up, but you're stronger than that. And you feel your legs being super strong and pushing on the pedals and just being better than the pain. So anything that you feel like you need practice on, say your starts, you can never clip in. Cornering, you're afraid of the one descent on today's road race or something, practice in your head. And I would say that's almost more important than the physical practice, because most of us come race time, we're all fit, we're all rested, we all ate really well, but it's the people who have the confidence in here. And the only way I found to get confidence is to practice. For me, I have to practice over and over and over. I'm not just gonna be like, I am gonna kick ass at this and I've never seen it before and I have no idea who you guys are and I'm gonna win. Well, I need to see it, I need to practice it, and that's how I get confidence. And oftentimes the only practice you get is in here. So you have many hours often. Are there any questions?
Or just a thought, there has to be like some statistic about how much like brain energy stress takes away from your like energy levels in general. I mean, is there some, I mean, I feel like that's gotta, it obviously affects you greatly during, but like, yeah, I feel like sometimes just the stress in the head like makes you tired before you've even started.
Yeah, so stress, no matter if it's like mental stress, emotional stress, same thing, training stress, whatever stress, it releases the cortisol, which Brian talked about briefly, like super briefly, he mentioned cortisol. And when it's released, it, in addition to it making us store fat, it also, we don't work very well when we have high levels of that. And so it's no matter how you're stressed, if you have that shooting through your body from overtraining, over emotions, overthinking, whatever, it makes you tired. So if, say, you know, going into a race, I had a super crazy work week and I'm all wound up and I can barely focus, and then I'm at the race start and I'm still thinking about this work week and my kids, and then they said go, and then I was off the back and like all in a frenzy. So if you know that maybe that is happening, the more you can practice before that to like switch that off in your head. So for me, I knew if I was in the start and I took 3 deep breaths, so on the third one, I would breathe out and say, relaxed. And then on the fourth one, relaxed and ready. And that was like, I'm here to kick ass. I don't give two fucks what just happened. And it took, what did that take, 30 seconds maybe? But I could only do that from lots of practice off the bike, off the slope. Getting that mindset of what is it that gets me like so focused, because there's lots of things going on. My last year's racing, it was like press conferences, autographs, which that's nice. Athletes at the same race, you know, like all this stuff going on. And then you get to the start, and then you're like, what is my job for the day? What am I supposed to do? When have I eaten? Have I drinking? And it's just like, take the 20 seconds, boom, let's go. So there are, and this might be something Julie touches on tomorrow, but ways you can find that zone for you mentally on how to like shut off normal life, turn on athletic and performance life. I'm pretty sure she will. Does that answer your question? Any other questions? So let's practice again. So tomorrow we have motor pacing. And some of you maybe have motor paced and some of you maybe haven't motor paced. So let's practice it in our head first. Okay, so find your relaxing place. Think about relaxing the entire body, starting from the toes and moving up. You're not holding tension anywhere. Relax legs, relax stomach, relax cheeks and jaw. You're on your bike on 63rd. If you don't know 63rd, it's just a nice paved road with some rollers, little rollers. You're riding in the bike lane. You can feel the sunshine. It might be a little bit cold, brisk. You feel the briskness on your face, but the wind on your face. You're riding on your hoods, so you feel your hoods in your hands, shoulders relaxed. And then from behind you, you hear the motor start to come up. So you shift into a couple harder gears and stand up to get up to speed. The motor is coming up on your left. You look over your shoulder and you see it, and you go into your big ring, get up a little bit more speed, and just as the motor is coming by, you swing and get in its draft. Now you can hear the motor and feel you're going a little bit faster. You're going to get into your drops. Your heart rate is probably going up a little bit. Now the goal of motor pacing is to be close to the motor because you get a nice draft. So think about your front wheel being close to the motor, and you're bending your arms and getting small to get a nice draft. Your legs are moving quickly because we're working on leg speed, most important leg speed, so your cadence is high. But you're relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're taking deep breaths. Looking ahead, you see the Jen's back. She's your driver. You have confidence that she will drive you well, and you're going fast and it's fun. As you go up the little roller, it's going to feel harder, so you need to be prepared every time it goes uphill to accelerate a little bit, to stay right on the motor. So now you might have to get out of your saddle. So shift a gear harder, out of the saddle, staying right behind the motor. You can hear the motor, you feel the wind in your face, you feel the effort now in your legs, but the cadence is still high. As you crest the up and over, once you get the over and on the downhill, you get some recovery. If you stay right on the motor, you get to almost coast and you recover and you relax and you take deep breaths. As it comes back out on the flats, your leg speed is going again. Still in the drops, heart rate is up, but you're staying relaxed and the speed is there. Speed in your legs. one more hill to climb, and this one's a little bit bigger. So you're gonna have to dig a little deeper. You carry speed in behind the motor to the bottom of the hill, and as the momentum starts to slow, you need to really put out the effort. Out of the saddle, going hard, going hard. Your breathing is heavy, the pain is in your legs, but you do not care. The only goal is to stay on the motor. Going up, going up. You can do it, you can do it. Stay on the motor, stay on the motor. As you press the top, that almost hurts the most because Jen is not gonna let off the gas. She's gonna stay going. You have to stay on the motor. Push through that discomfort to the backside where you can coast and recover. You need to slow your breathing, take big, deep breaths. Nice recovery, spinning the legs gently. Done. Do I do this thing and then stop it? Okay, how was that?
Fun.
It was okay? Now everyone's practiced. You've already practiced motor pacing.
No.
So tonight, I really find the visualization doesn't come naturally unless you practice, just like any other skill. So bedtime for me always worked best because I need to relax anyway and I don't have anything going on. It's not like, oh, I need to get that email and what about this? And well, it's bedtime. You just go to bed. So practice maybe some skills we learned today, some cornering, some bumping and staying relaxed, some climbing or descending, and just really think about using all 5 senses. For memorization of a course, it's not like you're gonna straight up look at a time trial course and remember it right away. So what you have to do is, if say it's a square, and you know that you come out of the start and it's a gradual uphill for 2 miles before you turn right. So then I would stop, like literally stop riding and imagine, okay, this is what the start looks like. I remember coming out of the start, 2 miles uphill. It's kind of prairie land around. There's probably wind coming from the left. And remember that section, okay? Now turn right and ride that next section, 4 miles, gentle downhill. So then stop, go back through my mind. Okay, the start, look at the start, the first 2 miles, gentle uphill, probably a wind from the left, right turn, rolling down 4 miles. And you repeat, starting again at the start. Start, blup, blup, blup. And then ride this. Start, blup, 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 blup. And over and over and over, because that's how you would then memorize it. It's kind of exhausting, and it takes a lot of here, but that's what it takes. And so if you have to write it down first to remember, totally fine. Our TTT Worlds course, I had the hardest time remembering that. It was long, super long, and lots of turns, and it was like kilometers, and lots of places looked the same because it was just flat. So for me, that was really hard. But so you can think about a TT course like haystack. I mean, you guys here know haystack, and well, how would you ride it? If you go down Nelson, it's probably a tailwind, so you can recover, and you can just practice all of these things. How do you ride? How do you feel on your TT bike? Is your head down? Are your shoulders relaxed, or are you riding like this? How do you feel? How do you pace yourself? How do you stay positive in your head? Okay, so everyone's homework tonight is to practice at least twice 2 different things that we did today, or we just practiced like the motor pacing. Okay, and it can take 2 minutes, it can take 20 minutes, however long it takes to get you fully relaxed and in that zone of really visualizing what you're doing using all 5 senses. Good? Mm-hmm. That's all I've got, and I didn't even go over. I'm pretty under. No questions? No? Okay. Good. Mm-hmm.
I was a problem with my mind starting to wander.
Ah, good one. Okay, that's a good question. I'm going to tell them. She said she always has a problem with her mind starting to wander. And I think that's a big thing in time trials too. Well, long road races too. And I find like that starts with training. Is every single pedal stroke of a 3-hour ride, you have to be in the moment of what you're doing. Which sometimes you have the first little bit, you have to let go of what's happening at home or at work or whatever. But then after that, you have to stay so focused on the training, the watts, the cadence, where's the wind coming from? Like if you're trying to figure out how to ride in a pack better, you can think about where's the wind? And if I'm going to turn right, what's that mean? Where's the wind going to be? And if I was in a pack, maybe I'd want to be on the right-hand side because we're going to make a turn and it's going to come from this way. And then in a time trial, for example, what kept me focused, and I know this is a big thing that Kristen Armstrong has said, is if you lose focus in a time trial, you're like losing time because all of a sudden you're soft pedaling or you're not paying attention or your head comes up. So that was a really big thing for her as well, was staying focused. So what I used is I had the course memorized and exactly how to execute every single section of the course. So I'd come in and be like, okay, here's a nice place to recover. I have two minutes recovery. Good job, you're doing good. Deep breaths, high cadence, good, recover. And I would talk to myself like that for the whole time trial, always keeping it positive and focused on the execution. Coming up, you have a right-hand turn, and that's going to be 4-minute hard effort out of the saddle. It's a climb. So recover, breathe, doing good, keep going, like non-stop commentary. As I started to get tired, like the last few miles, it became things like the sooner you get to the finish, the sooner you're done. Or there's a better, faster, stronger on our collars. I am better, I am faster, I'm stronger, I'm doing awesome, I'm better, I'm faster, I'm stronger. That actually came, ski racing was bigger, better, stronger, but bigger, that doesn't make sense in bike racing. But that's what relaxed me ski racing. So I was like, okay, I'm better, I'm faster, I'm stronger, better, I'm faster, I'm stronger. And that, like, just repeating that over and over and over and never letting myself think about other things other than how to execute this perfectly. In a longer road race, that can be hard because I'll admit sometimes it's boring. But if you remember you have a specific job or a goal, like I know the last 3 minutes or the last 3 miles of this race end on an uphill. And in order for me to have a great finish, I need to have super fresh legs because that hill is really hard for me. So then the whole race, you have to stay focused on staying out of the wind, eating, drinking, like doing as much as you can to have as much energy as possible before that. I used to play the coasting game. How much could I coast? Could I coast more than her? Could I coast more than her? Could I coast more than her? And that kept me entertained if that was my goal, was to save energy. Yeah, good question, Marisa.
I think even in crits that can be helpful because you get really tired and you're like, oh my God, and right when you think that is when you need to keep your mind fresh and go forward and just stay on it, because everybody is going through that, like, but to try and stay forward and keep your mind fresh and keep moving when your mind starts to get stale and tired.
Yeah, perfect. So an example, at Redlands a couple of years ago, there was a road race. And the last, I don't remember, 5 Ks maybe is pretty flat and wide open, and it's hard to hold position. And I needed to have a good finish for the team and for overall standing. And as soon as I knew that, like, with 5 Ks to go, I started saying, I am a good sprinter, which like, whatever you believe, whatever you say. I am a good sprinter. I can do this. Hold position, hold position. And I was like, I don't care what my legs are doing. Like, hold position. I'm a good sprinter. I can do this. I'm a good sprinter. I'm over and over and over. And it kept me aggressive because I was like, no, hold position, hold position. And then I won. Like, it was amazing because already in here was just so focused on the end. Like, who cares about your legs? I'm holding position and I'm a great sprinter. I can do it. Hold position, I'm a great sprinter, I can do it. And it's just like, what you think keeps your mind focused on what you're doing. Yeah, so all that, the mental, so it's not just the imagery that you practice, but then what you say to yourself during the heat of the moment. Oh, my legs hurt, oh, they're so aggressive, I don't know if I can do it, I'm fine with 20th place. No, be fine with doing your absolute best. And if, whatever, staying focused, staying aggressive. I'm doing awesome, I can do this, I can do better, I can climb with these girls, stay on it. Just not worrying about the pain in your legs, or if you actually can do it. I won a bunch sprint. That would never happen. Just really your body follows what your mind does. So if your mind is telling you a bunch of BS, your legs are gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm tired. That's right. But if your mind is saying, no, I can do it. I can stick it through to the top of this climb, and then there's the descent, and then bam, here we go. And again, with that mindset, you can practice when you're training. If you have, say you have a field test and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a field test. Oh, I don't know, what about my numbers? What if my cadence is bad? What about this? Or it's windy, I don't know what to do. Stop. It's just a field test. It is an opportunity to do your 20 minutes as best as you can, regardless of the numbers, regardless of the cadence, but it's a chance for 20 minutes to stay positive in here. Okay, I can do this. I am awesome. I'm gonna break it up into 5-minute segments. And the first 5 minutes, I'm gonna hold back a little bit, and the middle 5 minutes, stay nice and strong, nice and strong. I know the last 5 minutes, I'm gonna start to feel the pain in my belly, the pain in my legs, and I'm gonna wanna quit in it, but it's only 5 minutes left, and I can stay strong. So just that whole positive thinking. There's no negative. Try to get rid of all the negative. Good? Okay, now I'm done. Awesome. Yeah. Shall we turn this off?
Sure.
Thank you.